A lot of people are wondering, when are cryptocurrency prices set to skyrocket again? What's going to drive them to go back to the moon and take us all to the promised land where our hodl pays off? And that's a question and a topic I really want to address in this video. So I'm going to address that. I'm also going to talk about institutional money. And the other thing I want to do is give you a resource that I think is very, very useful when it comes to actually looking at what applications are gaining traction. So we're going to get into that in this video, but first, let's roll intro. So when are cryptocurrency prices set to boom again? Just like we saw here, which I showed this chart previously with the NASDAQ, we had the dot-com bubble, and it took many years until the market recovered and surpassed the peak of that bubble. It took many years for the Googles and the Amazons, etc., to prove themselves, to provide real world wealth and value to shareholders, etc., and for those prices to just go up and up and up. It took time for that to happen. But what's actually going to drive the increase in the cryptocurrency market? Because we had our bubble here at the end of December, and a lot of people are wondering, are we going to get back up there? My guess is we absolutely are, but probably not in the way that you think. I don't just want to approach this problem thinking here or here, but here. Do you know what I mean? We want to approach this thinking with our instinct and our gut. Let's just be realistic here. I'm probably going to say a lot of things in this video many people are going to dislike and disagree with, but I just want to give my honest opinion on what I think needs to happen in order for cryptocurrency prices to go up. So the first thing I think we need to talk about is this website State of the Dapps. And the reason why I want to bring you here is because I want to talk about what applications are actually getting traction and what kind of traction are we even talking about. So when you're on State of the Dapps, you can go to rankings over here. This is quite useful because now you can rank coins by certain attributes. And the attributes here is how many users in the last 24 hours used that coin. Now, this is very, very interesting to me because when I rank this by the number of users, and by the way, my opinion is that the number of users is the most useful metric here. And the reason is because of Metcalfe's law. Remember that the value of a network is proportional to the number of users squared, whether you're using Metcalfe or Zipf's law. But it makes sense. The more users, the more adoption there is of that technology, surely the more value there is in that technology. And at the very top is endless dice. I've not even looked at this DApp, but obviously it's a gambling DApp. And when I look at most of these are betting or gaming applications over here, or dapplications. Now, a lot of you might actually be put off by that, but I want to make a few things pretty clear here. EOS is winning. Like, EOS is taking over. Most of the adoption is happening on a protocol, on a platform, EOS, which is much, much newer than Ethereum. And now we know the security with EOS isn't as strong as Ethereum, but you don't need military grade security for every application that you're going to launch. And EOS is clearly picking up. Now, when I look at the number of users, we're looking at about 4,000 people here, about nearly 10,000 people within the last 24 hours. Now, let's think about this on scale. If I look at a website like Flipper, where you can see websites being bought and sold, you can see how many active users are on those websites. You know, sometimes they tens of thousands of people on a website. Now, 10,000 users in 24 hours in the grand scheme of things is actually not very much. Now, that said, it's very, very positive because we're seeing an increase in the average number of daily users. And this is a metric that I think is actually the most relevant and important. How many people are using and adopting the blockchain? If you've been following anything Vitalik's been saying, he was asked the question, what is going to cause prices to go up? And he said what we've all been saying, real world value. I've been saying it for like 12 months now. Real world value. That's what's going to drive adoption. We really need some of these technologies to come out and prove themselves. Now, I know a lot of you might be concerned because a lot of these are gambling based, etc. But remember, a lot of new technologies do start underground. But the question here is, what's actually driving adoption? So storage is a clear winner over here as well. Ethereum based, we're talking about high security as well because it is on Ethereum. Storage clearly provides a solution. I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar that you're going to see Blue Zell. Of course, you know I'm very bullish on Blue Zell. As long as it's executed properly, it's going to be a clear winner because it's going to provide solutions that you can't find with Amazon Web Services today in terms of the cost effectiveness. So we are going to see more and more adoption happening. And when we go back to this curve, that's what drives the upside. Now, of course, in the dot-com bubble, we had 9/11 and the credit crunch, which really slowed things down by a few years. Now, the other thing I want to give you just my opinion on is institutional money. My guess and bet, and from the conversations I've had in this industry, institutional money is already in. It's already happening. The way institutions like to come in is they like to enter quietly. They don't want everybody knowing that they're buying up crypto assets or crypto technologies. And you have to ask the question, when an institution comes in, or even a hedge fund, to invest in this market, is it the actual tokens that they're buying? Or are they forming companies and are they buying up those technologies without having to go through tokens? Now, I've got no evidence to back this up. Again, I'm just thinking with this, it's really obvious to me that institutions must already be in. Come on, I mean, Goldman Sachs acquired Poloniex like months and months ago. Institutional money is already in. Now, when it comes to seeing pension funds investing, insurance funds investing, they're going to want to invest in a way that's very, very secure. They're not going to want to buy crypto assets like you buy them today. So my honest guess here is, I think we're going to see another pump in crypto prices, but I think this next pump is probably going to be retail trader based. There's going to be quite a lot of hype. And the honest truth is, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict the future, but if I use my instinct, I would say that I don't think institutions are going to come in banging a loud drum going, we're buying everything up, everything's going up quickly. I think when prices go up very quickly, there are going to be whales and sharks in the background waiting to see when all the retail buyers have been exhausted, and then they're going to start dumping. And I also think there's a lot of dodgy activity that happens with exchanges, and they're going to do that too. And I'm pretty sure a lot of that is what drove the crypto price manipulation back in December. And yes, it was manipulation. The whole game was manipulation. But when you look at it from a trader's perspective, the guys with the most size, whether they were professional traders or whether they were institutions or exchanges or the media, the guys with more size won because they could see that the buyers were exhausted. And we called it on this channel. We called it where we said you can see volume going down and price going up. It makes no sense. We're exhausting it. And what happened? Everything tanked. We can't predict the future, but that would be my guess. My guess is that we're going to see prices come up again, but we're going to see that because people are basically just going to want to take profit. So these are just my thoughts. Now, I know probably a very small portion of you are actually going to even agree with what I'm saying, and I don't expect you to agree with me. In fact, I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear what other people in this market are actually thinking based on their own intuition, not just what everyone else is saying. What is your intuition telling you is going to happen? Please put it in the comments. I'd love to have a conversation with you about that. I think that's enough for this video. What I'm going to talk about in the next video are what are the YouTube channels that I use and I follow that give me enough information to make decisions based off of. For the time being, I hope you got something from my thoughts and opinions in this video. If you have any comments, please do put them below, especially on this video. I want to hear what you think. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Take care and talk soon.